Hey folks, Randy here with Dolan Cut and Trim. So this is going to be the rare same day upload. Been trying to record videos for this channel, man, but honestly, between the lawn season starting and having more customers at the beginning of the season than I'm used to, and then also training my wife / office manager on using service autopilot and things like that, I haven't had a lot of extra time. Normally I record these videos like in between lawns, like while I'm driving from one lawn to the next, but I've been on the phone because if you've ever used service autopilot, the learning curve is pretty insane for that software. And so basically I cut a lawn, she comes up with 10-15 questions that I then spend the drive to the next lawn answering, and by the time I'm done that one, go to the next one, a bunch more questions, which is great. I'm really glad that we were able to do it this way, because I've been using service autopilot for a couple of years, so I've got the basics down. It's pretty easy for me at this point. But like I said, if you've used service autopilot before, it takes a lot of work before you're even remotely comfortable using it, because it's just such a robust software. But anyway, long story short, I haven't been able to record videos like I normally like to, and but so I figured, I don't know, so I guess I would give an update on how things are going a weekend. So you guys, I announced it like on this channel probably like a month ago, I think, that my wife was quitting her job and coming to work with me and Dolan Cut and Trim full time. And honestly, man, it's been a dream come true. In my business, I use customer service as a differentiator, and it's amazing having somebody who that's what her sole focus is making the customer service experience as good as possible. A lot of guys, they like to talk about how their quality is what sets them apart, or their attention to detail and all this stuff, but you're kind of like bragging about just doing what you're supposed to do. And so I wanted us to be able to differentiate ourselves from the competition, and saying that we do a good job, everybody says that. So what we do is we say, we are a family-friendly company, and we put family first. We'll actually put God first, family second, and we really try and drive that narrative in our marketing. But then the other thing that we use to differentiate ourselves is the fact that our customer service experience is going to be better than anyone else that you deal with. I put a lot of time into that, and honestly, the customer service experience is probably one. I don't want to say it's the biggest expense that I've got, but it's very much up there. We spend a lot of money on software, a lot of money on that back end. On that back end, so that a lot of stuff we do you don't necessarily see, but the customer gets to experience it. It's like all the little things that you don't think of that the customer gets the benefit of. And that was one of those. So we already had the best customer service experience when I was working by myself. I had set up systems where I was able to do things. Honestly, most people that work with us assume we're way bigger than we are, just because the customer service experience is so on point. It would never occur to anyone that this experience could be had with a company, with a solo lawn care company. So with my wife coming on board, she's actually able to focus on that experience and make it even better. And it's really cool, because what she's able to do is take ideas and principles that I've come up with in the customer service experience, and she's able to expand on them and make them even better. Like one of the, or just make things more efficient, which is another thing. Like on our end, we're always trying to find the most efficient way to get something done while maintaining quality still. And she's able to find those little things that honestly just never even occurred to me, and she's able to take principles and, you know, make them a step further. Like one of the things I've done last year, we had record rain, and so we set up a template. You know, if you're familiar with Service Autopilot, you can do document templates, and I'd set up one for weather delays because we were having so many of them. And so I'd set that up in Service Autopilot. Well, she saw that, and you know, it's April. The lawn season doesn't really get into full swing till May, generally speaking. And so we're skipping yards, like pretty decent amount. And so she came up with the idea, you know, you got this weather update template. How about instead of us writing out, you know, we had to, you know, we didn't think your yard needed to be cut, you know, we'll do it next week, or if you think we're wrong, send us an email and we'll put it back on the schedule. She was like, instead of writing that out every single time, she's like, just make a template for it. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And so that's what she did. And so now when we have to skip customers' lawns, instead of it taking, you know, I don't know, 5 minutes, now it takes 10 seconds. You just, you know, check mark the names of the people we skipped that day, click communication or whatever it is, email customer, and you just select that document. It autofills all their information and send it off. So it's like little things like that. She works on the experience. Not only she's been, I'm just kind of telling you stuff she's been doing that I love, that just wasn't even on my radar. She's working on the customer service experience for people that don't even work with us. You know, for people that aren't in our service area, we like to recommend other businesses that we know service the areas they're in, so that we can take care of them. And so generally what I've done is I've gotten your address, and if you say something like, you know, I live in I don't know, Timonium or Halthorpe, like I can just tell you, like, oh, you know, we don't service that area. And I, you know, would tell you, oh, you know, you could contact I don't remember, you can contact Carl at sorry Carl, I don't remember what your company name is, but it is written down. Or like, oh, you know, we're not going to service that area, you can call Billy Goat, or, you know, you can call Laser Cut, or whoever, depending on the areas who we would recommend. And we would just tell them that and call it done. It was up to them to write up, you know, like actually make that effort, you know, call them or look up the number, whatever. Well, she came up with the idea, you know, because we may expand into these areas at some point, you know, we never know. She came up with the idea, instead of letting them know off the bat, we don't service your area, take down all their information, get their email address so that we'll be able to market to them later, and then send them an email notification, you know, I'm sorry you're not in our service area, however, Carl is. Here's Carl's name, number, email address, or whatever we've got on Carl, and they would be more than happy to service your property. And, you know, like that, when I was by myself, you know, like that felt like a lot. Like, you know, like, really? We're going to do all that for people we're not even going to do any business with? But the truth is, by doing that, we're helping build the brand that we're making the brand, that customer service, that family-friendly, that customer-friendly brand, we're making it that much stronger. And so she's just doing things like that constantly. You know, like the way we work on our businesses to make them as good as possible and to get, you know, do the best possible work that we can do. She's doing that on the back end of Dolan Cut and Trim and making that customer service experience the best that it can be. It's pretty cool. It's I'm overjoyed, you know. It's really neat because, you know, in areas where I'm weak, she tends to be strong, and in areas where I'm strong, I don't want to say she's weak, she's just not as strong. And so it's really neat to be able to work with somebody that, you know, like I partner with my wife on some pretty tough things, you know, like taking care of my son, dealing with the doctor's visits, hospital visits, IEPs at school, you know, all that fun stuff. So being able to partner with her in that, and knowing how well we work together in that sphere, to be able to then bring that into the business, it's awesome, man. And, you know, she's great on the phone. Any customer that's talked to her on the phone has loved her. You know, so it's just been a win-win. I mean, for crying out loud. If I had the choice between talking to me on the phone or talking to her on the phone, I would definitely talk to her. So, but I'm at a lawn, so I need to end this video and get to work. So this is Randy with Dolan Cut and Trim. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.